Hey everybody, Chuck Barone, Wednesday, August the 10th, 2022. A very big day in the markets with our C.P.I coming out today, or C.P.I. You can tell where my brain's at today. Anyway, glad to be with you guys on a rainy, cloudy, kind of bad day here in Las Vegas. As always, we want to thank you and appreciate you guys for your support for the videos and the channel. In the markets today, kind of an odd day, I thought. The markets in the stock market today, the Dow basically had a completely flat day, neither up nor down, which was kind of a surprise to me with this C.P.I. number coming in the way it did. The NASDAQ and the S&P both had decent rallies today, but I think the big surprise was the market's kind of muted reaction to this C.P.I. number. They expected inflation to come down a little. It came down more than expected, both in the top line number and the core inflation. So I thought stocks might do a little better today. They didn't. The bond market, the 10-year at 2.78. Bond market rallies a little bit today. The gap between the 2-year and the 10-year, the yield spread, changed, narrowing a little bit. So it's still inverted, but less so. The dollar today gets bashed down over a full point on the index to 105.24. I think that the reason for that obviously is expectations that the Fed will be less aggressive raising rates. That weakens the dollar a little bit. We'll see how it all works out. I think there's a lot of moving pieces going right now, guys. Metals surprisingly down today. When I saw the dollar coming down before the market opened this morning, I thought for sure metals would have a pretty good day today. I thought stocks would have a good day today, and that was not even close on either. Gold down today at $17.93. Silver, $20.65. They're both holding their line pretty well. I think gold's about to pop through 1800, or at least test 1800. Silver holding support above $20. So I think that with the dollar coming down a little bit, the short term is pretty positive for metals. Oil today up $91.64, West Texas Intermediate, which was another surprising thing because they announced that oil inventories are actually up. So I would expect oil prices to go down. They didn't. Okay. Natural gas, another nice rally today, over 5% to $8.27 for their British thermal units. Natural gas is, I think that it kind of had a decline there. I think that might have been profit taking by some traders, rallying back up. I think it's still got a little ways to go, depending how things go with this Russia-Europe thing over the winter. Bitcoin had an update today, just under 23,800. I'm looking for a breakout on Bitcoin. I think that if it can pop above 24,000 and consolidate there, I think you could look for a little bump in Bitcoin coming up pretty quickly. In the big news of the day, which most of you guys have probably already heard about, the C.P.I. came in a surprising number today. Top line in C.P.I. coming in at 8.5%, down from 9.1% last month. They expected the number to come in at 8.7%, so the numbers came in a little bit better than they expected, which is something new. They usually haven't been. And core C.P.I. today came in at 5.9%, down from 6.1%, and they were actually expecting an increase in the core inflation numbers. So that was actually pretty good news on inflation numbers. Let me break down some of the things that caused this move in inflation to give you an idea of how each individual sector in that C.P.I. is breaking down. Gas prices coming down pretty dramatically this month, down 7.7% just from last month. Now that helped offset higher food and rent costs for everybody. And I think people are starting to see a little bit of relief at the pump here. but it would be nice if food and rents were coming down with those gas prices. Food prices up 10.9%, pretty dramatic rise, the most since 1979. But on the flip side of this, the good news is used car prices had a small decrease. And this is a phenomenon I got to say is amazing to me, that used car prices are going up. So to see that kind of turning around and used car prices coming back down to earth makes a little bit of sense. The one I saw today that really caught my attention was the cost of eggs. You know, eggs are up almost 40% year over year. That's astonishing to me, man. This is one of the staples of pretty much everybody's diet, I think. And to see the prices go up that much is really a surprise. They had shelter rents up 5.7%, and that's the highest bump since 1991. So food and shelter, okay, two of the big three, right, guys? Up pretty dramatically. Food up the highest since 79, rents up the highest since 1991. Now, and one bit of bright news for people who travel a lot, airline fares are dropping down pretty quickly, down 7.8% in just 1 month. I guess the summer travel season, they're starting to wind that down a little bit, and they have, the airline fares coming down, of course, with the cost of gasoline and fuel. Now, the question in my mind is, are these numbers really good news for everybody? Is it, they're certainly going to trumpet it as fantastic news. They got a handle on this. The rate hikes are working. But is it really good news, guys? I mean, if the price of AirPods comes down $5, but eggs are up 40%, is that good news? If the price on used cars comes down versus the cost of rent rising fastest since 91, is that good news? If airfares are coming down and giving a break to business travelers and people who travel, is that good news compared to the cost of food rising 10.9%? I think that if you break these numbers down, inflation is still wreaking havoc in our economy, especially on the most vulnerable. It's forcing debt levels to rise like crazy, 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 guys. And as I've been telling all of you since we started this blog, the things you guys need to be doing right now are very important, haven't changed. And if you've been following our advice, you might not have caught a few of the big ups in the stock market, but you're certainly sleeping better at night with less tech stocks in your portfolio. And you're still doing very, very well. And if you've been following our advice to start building your war fund, your FU fund, and you're saving money right now in this environment, consider yourself on top of your game, guys. This is a very tough environment to be saving any money in right now. So if you're managing to add to your war chest, continue to do it. Continue to, if you can possibly, chip away at the debt you have existing. I'm not talking about mortgages. I'm talking about credit cards and the stuff that's painful every month to pay. Try not to pay just the minimums on those credit cards. Try to pay as much as you possibly can above that minimum without costing you your lifestyle or, forcing you to not have any fun in your life, because what the hell good is living it then, right? The things we've been suggesting are basic fundamentals, guys. There's nothing razzle-dazzle here. I think that, our advice kind of gets overlooked a lot of times because, we're not freaking out talking about end-of-the-world stuff here. We're not talking about a stock market crash every single month. We're not talking about the end of the world as we know it and, some of these other things. And, I think George Carlin said it right. They were talking about save the world, save the earth. And he reminded everybody that the earth isn't going anywhere. We are. And I think it kind of works the same with this economic stuff, guys. The economic world isn't going to come to an end. It just isn't, okay? You think the billionaire class, our overlords, want the dollar to completely get creamed? You think that's good for them? They're the ones calling the shots, guys. So you want to make your game plan. You want to kind of get a jump on what's going on in this world. Just figure out what's good for billionaires. Because that's obviously the most likely thing to happen, especially over the near term, until the people find a way to rise up and make their voices heard to the political class by throwing some of these bums out of office, giving up on one political party or the other, and understanding that both of them are two sides of the same coin, and doing what's best for you personally, not your party, not any political mantra or anything like that. And a lot of times you are, don't get me wrong. But you know how I feel about politicians, guys. I feel like they're all worthless leeches stuck to the neck of everybody. And I think we need to make our voices and our power known to them. Otherwise, the billionaire class, the overlords who pay all the expenses and donate the millions and millions of dollars to these politicians are going to have their way as they've been having it for many, many, many years, decades. Before I wrap up today, I just want to have a quick follow-up to yesterday's rant about this carried interest loophole. I had the whole night I've been stewing about this because it's getting to be so absolutely blatant now, where, the political class used to be a little more discreet than they are now. Everybody knew there was some graft going on. Politicians came into office and left a lot richer than they came in, and everybody kind of understood the game. But now it's just so blatant and in your face, like literally giving you the finger, like they don't care what you think. They feel invulnerable, because even if the 1 out of 100 that gets kicked out of office gets scooped right up by one of these lobbyist firms or one of these companies, ends up as CEO of some other political donor company. So they really have very little to lose by doing the bidding of our corporate overlords. But I wanted to create a kind of follow-up to give you an idea of what I really think is happening. And I was looking for somebody that was a much better speaker and a person who could really get an idea across stronger than I can. And I came up with this quote from Ayn Rand. And I want to close today's show with this, okay? She said, "When you see that in order to produce, you need to obtain permission from men who produce nothing. When you see that money is flowing to those who deal not in goods, but in favors. When you see that men get richer by graft and by pull than by work. And your laws don't protect you against them, but protect them against you. When you see corruption being rewarded and honesty becomes self-sacrifice, you may know that your society is doomed." That's from Atlas Shrugs in 1957. It kind of puts into a well-said little quote the way I've been feeling about this, the way things are going. I cannot believe that these rich people are getting away with what they're doing. They're creating a debt trap that everybody's stuck in, where they're going to make payments to these people forever and ever throughout their whole entire lives, become a series of payments. And we have our political class who should be coming to our defense. They represent us. What are they doing? The bidding of their corporate overlords, their donor class. It's just the saddest thing I've seen in this country in a very, very long time. I'm sorry to be on politics, guys. It's not really a political thing. It's just more a state of the country thing, man. It's just so sad to me to see the way we're heading. And I'm trying to find a shaft of light somewhere that says, well, maybe this can turn around. I'm not finding it. If you guys have an idea of how maybe we could get this right, what some of the things we can do to turn this situation around, please let me know in comments. Anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. I really appreciate your support. Don't forget to like the video if you like what you're hearing here. Share it with your friends and subscribers. If you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to click the bell so you get your notifications. As always, ask your questions in the comments section. We love your comments and questions. And if the question's a little more deep, ask the question at askchuckbarone gmail.com. I started getting to those yesterday. I got a few left in there. I'll be getting to those as soon as this taping is finished. We really appreciate your guys' support. We'll talk again tomorrow. I think we get PPI numbers tomorrow, so let's see how the producer price indexes come out. In the meantime, guys, take care of yourselves. See you tomorrow. Thanks.